I used to watch this woman on YouTube who calls herself Freelee the Banana Girl. She makes videos about veganism and documents her diet and exercise regimens, which are highly disciplined. She's also made several videos about popular YouTubers like Jenna Marbles and Trisha Paytas, who have gained some noticeable weight or have talked about their weight issues in the past. In a nutshell, Freelee's answer to everything is veganism, and not the regular kind of veganism that we're all familiar with, in which you refrain from consuming everything that derives from animals. She's the extreme type. She is a raw food fruitarian, and that basically means exactly what it sounds. For most of the day, she only eats raw fruit. To get this out of the way, I have no problem with veganism. I also don't buy into the pushy, judgmental vegan stereotype as perpetuated by such intellectual lightweights like Onision. Guilt by association is still a logical fallacy. Unfortunately, Freelee isn't helping because she too perpetuates that stereotype. This is someone who denies that human beings are omnivores because we can survive without eating flesh. So it would follow that she doesn't seem to care much about biology. We're omnivores because of the adaptations to our physiology, like our teeth and our gut, that came about because of our regular food sources, which included meat. Choosing not to eat meat just makes you a vegetarian. It doesn't magically change you into an herbivore. Freelee made a video recently about Boogie 2988, who I've been watching for a little while. He makes gamer vlogs, which I don't have much interest in, but he also does vlogs about his life, which I do like. He is also super morbidly obese, which he has discussed many times on his channel, and for which he was also featured on Super Size vs. Super Skinny, which is a British reality TV show that swaps the daily diets of someone who is morbidly obese with someone who is extremely underweight. In Freelee's video, she begs him to let her help him save his life, and criticizes the ketogenic diet that both his doctor and nutritionist put him on, which she called a, quote, recipe for death. Personally, I have reservations in regards to high-fat, low-carbohydrate diets, but I also have reservations with people who are not medical professionals or licensed dietitians, implying or stating outright that people should ignore their doctors' and nutritionists' supervised diet plans, which are formulated based on a variety of factors gathered during exams and the patient's medical history. I'm sure Freelee has the best intentions in mind and really believes in her lifestyle choices. I'm not saying that they don't work for her. It's just not a viable option for everyone, especially for someone like Boogie, who is not just merely overweight. A raw fruitarian diet may be doable for someone who is just looking to lose some weight for aesthetic reasons, but for someone like Boogie, it could kill him. He is clearly dealing with an extreme lifestyle and may already be suffering from malnutrition, which is surprisingly common in the morbidly obese. One does not remedy an extreme lifestyle with another extreme lifestyle, which would be raw food veganism. I don't know Boogie, and I certainly do not presume to compare myself to him, but what I do know is food addiction. Overcoming a food addiction takes so much more than just making the effort to change your diet. You basically have to completely retrain yourself how to think and how to deal with uncomfortable emotions. A food addict is used to reaching for food as a response to these emotions and to reward or console themselves. The concept of eating just to not be hungry doesn't compute in our minds. We're already thinking about when our next meal is going to be while we're still eating the current one. Food makes us full and warm. It tastes good, we derive pleasure from it, and for some of us, it's the only way we can get our dopamine fix. So it comes as no surprise that food is our obsession, and we can't beat our addiction until we stop obsessing over it. Learning to have a healthy attitude toward food is something that requires a daily, concentrated effort. And it's basically something we're going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives. Obviously, nobody can give up eating without dying, so the answer is to try to find a sustainable balance that not only satisfies our nutritional needs, but our palatable ones as well. Now, vegetarianism and veganism might be the answer for some, but some of us are just not into fruit and veggies enough to successfully give up meat. And we don't have to. Once again, I don't have a problem with veganism. I have a problem with people like Freelee that imply or just come right out and say that we automatically condemn ourselves to an unhealthy lifestyle just because we eat animal flesh. That's a lie, and you cannot build anything solid on a foundation of a lie. There's another issue that food addicts have, and this one will sound very obvious at first, but it's actually very crucial in understanding why Freelee can't help Boogie. We eat a lot. We're very accustomed to eating a lot. We tend to eat way more than we should be eating. It's the amount of food that we keep shoving in our faces that causes problems twofold. One, the overabundance of food generally translates into many thousands of calories that don't get burned off and are stored as fat, so food addicts tend to gain weight. That's a given. Two, Eating that much in one day is disordered eating and contributes to our unhealthy attitudes and behaviors toward food. And that's why Freelee's rejection of calorie restriction and her fad diet of 30 bananas a day are probably the very worst thing you can give to someone who is addicted to eating. Despite Freelee's assertion that calorie restriction is bullshit, her words, it isn't. It does work. It's just not fun because it requires counting calories. Calories are how we measure energy units, and our bodies require a certain amount of calories per day just to function properly. Losing or gaining weight successfully requires this understanding of calories in versus calories out. If you consume fewer calories than what you burn off per day, you lose weight. If you consume more calories than when you burn off per day, you gain weight. I lost 70 pounds scaling back my daily caloric intake. However, the desire to keep eating has never gone away because the food addiction has never been cured. That's one of the reasons why obese people tend to gain their weight back. So telling someone like Boogie that he can eat as much fruit as he wants and still lose weight? That is a recipe for death. There's still a promotion of a disordered pattern of eating. Instead of cookies and potato chips, it's bananas. Either way, it would still be enabling his obsession with food, and he's never going to overcome his addiction that way. Let me end this by pointing out that Freelee's raw fruitarian diet and the claims that she has made have not been backed up with anything except for testimonials, which really can't be verified over the internet. Nothing has been clinically tested. No doctor or nutritionist endorses her or her claims. And for Christ's sake, please don't take the advice of a self-styled guru over your doctors on any matter of health.